All right, testing. All right, testing. 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 All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Yabashim, Yashar, brother. Thumb to the brothers, Shalom, Yahashim, Yahashim, Yahashai to the sisters. We are the Isupk Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana, and we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. We teach that all so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. We are the true biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of, and Esau, or as you know him as the white man, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now, today's a Sabbath service, for those that already know. We're going to be reading out of the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3, to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 22. All right, as you already know, 49 verses in the Hebrew. I'll be reading in the Hebrew, and then we'll go over it in the English. And we'll give the breakdown in the English. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, by all means, feel free to put it in the chat. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Now, with that being said, we're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer. So, Imagine, just me up here. Layasha'ala, which means to or for Israel. Which means to rise or stand and face the east. Brothers, remember to have your heads uncovered during the prayers and when attending class. And sisters, remember to have your heads covered when attending class or participating in the prayers. Now, with that being said, is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Adonanawa, Bakam, Call, Yawam, Basalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayanawa, Masaiwan, Abal, Awashinawa, Bayan, Rai, Kaya, Baka, Amalakwa, Ba'ala, Ba'ataparath, Ba'alamim, Aman. Now in the English, our Father, and us like it, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Hakak, which is the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Adonanawa, Hakak, Laraba'ah, Kal Makalah, Wakal Marawat, Hakak, Atahar, Hamat Zariah, Hakak, Laquayim, Hamathim, Hakak, Arakawat, Atama'ala, Lagarshun, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the water of mud. Now in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power
Give us the power.
Power to heal.
Power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power of unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
This is Bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Barak Banawa,
Malak Banawa,
Wayasha'ala,
Ba'ashala,
Baha, Waha,
Baha,
Bayath Saparium,
Ba'ashasarim,
Barak,
Barak,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
the water Aman.
the water Amen.
What we just said was, Lord,
Lord,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
bless us
bless us
and Israel
and Israel
and the school.
and the school.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayunya,
Ayunya,
All,
All,
Ahariam,
Ahariam,
Ayun,
Ayun,
Yaba'ah,
Bara'ah,
Azoya,
Azaria,
Azoya,
Azaria,
Ya'ain,
Ain,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Asher,
Shemayim,
Yashiyah,
Ba'araza,
Barazah,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Mawat,
Arai,
Bagalka,
Baraka,
All Yanawam,
Alayawam,
Shamarka,
Shamar,
Hana,
La,
La'ah,
La,
Yanawam,
Lawam,
Wala'ah,
Bala,
Shun,
Ashim,
Shamar,
Shamar,
Ashra'ala,
Ashala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamar,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Zalka,
Zara,
Yad,
Yahweh,
Yimka,
Malaka,
Yawamam,
Yahweh,
Hashamash,
Ashamash,
La'ah,
La,
Yakaka,
Ashika,
Wa'arak,
Barak,
Balayla,
Bala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ashamarka,
Ashmarka,
Makal,
Call,
Rai,
Rai,
Ashamar,
Ashmar,
Atapashka,
Ashmashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ashamar,
Ashmar,
Hazafka,
Ashafka,
Wa'afka,
Wa'afka,
Baita,
Wa'ata,
Wa'ai,
Wa'ai,
I will love.
I will love.
Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help
My help
coming from the Lord,
coming from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor
shall
sleep.
not slumber or sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade
The Lord is thy shade
upon thy right hand.
upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee thy day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee
The Lord shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forward
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Allahayim,
Al-Dam Yalaka,
all
All, Takarash,
Rash,
Wa'al,
all,
Tashakwat,
Ashpa,
All,
all,
Kayahana,
Ahayana,
Awayabyaka,
Ayuka,
Yahama,
Yama,
Yawan,
Yawan,
Ra'ash,
Rash,
Al-Imaka,
Alaimaka,
Yar Yamwat,
Yam,
Sawada,
Sauda,
Baita,
Bata,
Yaitazawa,
Malakazwa,
Al-Tazapawanika,
Alazawagan,
Amarwa,
Amor,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Munakakinum,
Lakawak,
Magoya,
Amor,
Bala'a,
Malaa,
Yazakar,
Yashikar,
Shum,
Sham,
Yasha'ala,
Yashala,
Awda,
Alda,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Aitazawa,
Alazwa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yadwa,
Alika,
Harika,
Boryath,
Arya,
Likarathwa,
Arvar,
Ahoya,
Yahari,
Adawam,
Alawam,
Rashanai,
Yashima,
Alayam,
Alayam,
Awaba,
Alab,
Bulgarian,
Alvar,
Gabal,
Gawal,
Wam1,
Alwan,
Wamalak,
Alab,
Palashah,
Alasha,
Amashabia,
Alashabi,
Kazawar,
Azazur,
Gamashawar,
Mazazur,
Nalawa,
Alawa,
Imam,
Alman,
Parawa,
Arwa,
Zorawai,
Zorwa,
Labani Lawat,
Labanyala,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha,
Asha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kamadyam,
Kamal,
Kasaya,
Asaya,
Sara'ah,
Sawaya,
Kayabyam,
Ayanya,
Manakor,
Ko,
Koyashwan,
Ashashwan,
Shamakwa,
Shazwa,
Bayan,
Yanya,
Dara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Kawa,
Daman,
Dalma,
Ladama,
Lama,
Shaitamwa,
Shadam,
Nada,
Ladan,
Yamawa,
Yamwa,
Kaibrab,
Dara,
Kaza'aba,
Kaza,
Kazabat,
Kazala,
Wakatazomanai,
Kazamana,
Called Nasiakamwa,
Kanasa,
Ashar,
Ashon,
Amarwa,
Amor,
Yerusha,
Yamsha,
Manawa,
Nawa,
Af,
Al,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahai,
Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Shaitamwa,
Shadom,
Gogla,
Gawar,
it's like Kakwash,
Kawash,
Lapunya,
Lapan,
Raka'a,
Wala,
Ka'ash,
Kaash,
Tabaira,
Baar,
Yaira,
Yair,
Wakalahaba,
Wakalaba,
Balahat,
Alaha,
Harayum,
Kawayan,
Kun,
Kan,
Taradama,
Adam,
Basairaka,
Masai,
Obasa,
Kalasa,
Apathka,
Atka,
Baalam,
Baalam,
Mala'a,
Mala,
Panyahum,
Baalam,
Walawan,
Balawan,
Wabakwashwa,
Bakwash,
Shamka,
Shemsa,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yahashua,
Wahabahawa,
Wabahoa,
Ayai,
Adai,
Wakaparwa,
Wabarwi,
Wayabadwa,
Wabawi,
Wayadaiwa,
Wadawa,
Kayada,
Kayata,
Shimka,
Shurka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Babaka,
Abak,
Alwan,
Alamo,
Alcohol,
Arko,
Haradaza.
Arasa.
Now Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace,
and be not still,
and be not still,
O God.
O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies
thine enemy,
make atonement,
make a total,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate
have
thee,
lifted up the head.
and lift up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted
and consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
come,
let us cut them off,
let us cut them off
from being a nation,
from being a nation.
in the name of Israel.
In the name of Israel,
There be no more remembrance.
there be no more remembrance.
They have consulted together
They have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
Tabernacles of Edom,
Tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and Ishmael,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and Hagarene,
Gebal,
Baal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and
and the
Amalek,
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
A sword also was drawn with them.
Swords rolled from with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah,
Do unto them
do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as to the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
and the correct of Saul,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at the door.
They became as dung for the earth.
They become as dung of the earth.
It's like make their nobles like a red,
Make the souls like a red,
and like Zaid.
like I.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes,
all their princes,
as the Ba
as a body,
and as Amunah,
and as a moon,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves
let us take ourselves,
the house of God
the house of God,
in possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a will,
make them like a willing,
as a stubble before the wind,
as the
as the fire burneth the wood,
fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame set the mountains on fire.
as the flame set the mountain on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempests,
with thy tempest,
and make them afraid
and make them afraid
with thy storm.
of thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may see thy name.
O Lord,
O Lord,
let them be confounded
let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
and they may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone,
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
of the Most High,
of the Most High,
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
This is the blessings in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Me'aka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Mazab Yah, Alwap Yahana, Ha Alwapian, Hasaranyam, Hakwat, sorry, Hakwat is Ayoyin, Haka Yayoyin, Wa Agwafian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the water, Amun. Now in the English, bless you, Yahweh,
Blessed be Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
Commander General Yohanan,
Commander General Yahweh,
the generals,
the general,
the captains,
the captain,
the officers,
the officer,
the troopers,
the trooper,
and the sisters.
and the sister.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you,
thank you,
so be it.
so be it.
You may be seated. Ooh. Okay. All right, first and foremost, let's clap it up for the Most High real quick. Blessed to be here. It's another day. I know we still in captivity, but we're working our way on getting up out of here, right? So we gotta persevere, we gotta stay diligent, we gotta make our election short. So with that being said, if anybody who's just not tuning in again, we're going over the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3. And we're gonna go all the way to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 22. Again, 49 verses in the Hebrew. We'll go 7 by 7. So it'll be 7 verses in the Hebrew, 7 verses in English, give the breakdown, and then continue. All right, so I will be reading in the Hebrew, and then we'll give the breakdown in English. So it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3. So we'll go. So 3 to 9. This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3 in the Hebrew. La'ah, Thaba'al, Ba'al, Tha'ai Ba'ah, Za'af, Haba Ma'ah, Ashar, Thabalaya, Shawa'ad, Sha'ah, Basha Bayam, Washa'ah, Izayam, Ayol, Wa Tazabaya, Wa'atha Ba Wa'ad, Wa'qa'ah, Wadayash Sha'az, Watha'aya, Wazamad,
Yabal ba ma'a mapa da sa'af para sa'a washa sa'ai aif shasa'ai shafya para sa ya'af ma'ai la'af gara'a ba ma'a atha tha balya ayad af za'a la'a tha ba'al laya mama'ai laya hagara'a wama mapa raya sa'a apa sa'a hasha sa wa'ai af hago ma'o wa'af hara na wa'af hashapa'an hashapan baya ma'ai la'a gara'a hama'a wapara saya'a la'a hagara sa'a hama yum I think it's tamayum hum labum ha'af haka za'ar baya bapara'am para sa'a hara'a wala'a gara'a hama sama'a hara'a labum maba sha ra'am la'a thabalaya'a wama naba'al la'athum la'a thapa I af za'a thabalaya ma ba'al ashar bamayam ba'al ashar laya sanaparyar wakwasha kashaf tha ba'al.
All right, so we'll go to Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3. This thing. That's crazy. I have you read. So Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3 to 9.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing.
Mm-hmm.
These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pagard, and the wild ox, and the camosus.
Okay, so real quick, I'm pretty sure everybody already knows this. Again, I always got to give a recap. This is just a continuation of the warnings that we were given. Just think of it as like a reiteration of the book of Leviticus, right? At this time, of course, we were brought into the new land. This is the new generation, by the way. This isn't a generation before, because the ones that were brought up out of Egypt, they didn't, time needed to go by because we were just arrogant. We didn't want to listen. So again, we're being warned of, what certain things we can do and what we can't do. Now, just a quick recap. Why did we need to be reminded of this? What was the significance of this? Go ahead.
Keep the laws.
Keep the laws, right? But why do we need to be reminded to keep the laws? Go ahead.
Because the older generation worship that golden calf and murmuring and complaining.
Right. So of course, like pretty much what you're saying is like there were things that were happening before that we should have done. So now we got to learn from those mistakes, correct?
Come on.
Okay, so we gotta learn from that, So the whole reason, okay, anybody like understand like why laws are put in place? Anybody know why? Like just in general, like not just with the Bible. I'm talking about like anything. Go ahead.
For direction.
Okay, for direction. Okay. Give me more. Go ahead.
To keep order.
To keep order. Why though?
If there's no order, people will do whatever they want. It'll be chaos.
Okay, I'll take it. So pretty much I'll give it to you like this. Y'all both right, by the way. The reason why laws are put in place is because they need to be. Like, it's sad to say, but okay, why are there laws today? You know, you go to prison if you kill somebody because people kill people. That's just the cold hard truth, right? People kill people. Why is it against the law to sell drugs? Because people sell drugs. Why is it against the law to run a red light? Because people have ran red lights. And when they run red lights, it could lead to killing somebody, harming somebody, or harming themselves, et cetera, right? So laws, it's no different with the Bible. Laws were put in place because people were doing those things. So when you read, like, going back to like the book of Leviticus, and it says, I'm paraphrasing, like, you know, man shall not lie with man. Well, that's because men were lying with men. Women were lying with women. There were men who were lying with beasts. That sounds crazy, right? Like, to some of us, it's kind of like, what? Like, that, like, the thought wouldn't even cross your mind, right? But it was happening. And sadly, it still does. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of stories, you know, the Europeans, they, to this day, like, it's not a myth. They be getting dogs for other reasons. I'll just put it like that. But my point is, laws were put in place because we were doing things wrong. So something as simple as this, when we go back to, could you read Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 5 one more time?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
The hart and the roebuck
Mm-hmm.
and the fallow deer
Yeah.
and the wild goat and the pagar and the wild ox and the camels.
Okay, so right there, right? It's giving you a list of things that you can eat, and there are things that you cannot eat. So some of these might sound unfamiliar, by the way. So like things like, okay, a roebuck. A roebuck is like a deer, like venison, like stuff like that. You can eat a deer, all right? A pygarg was a type of goat. So again, you can eat goat. You have wild goat, you have the pygarg, a wild ox, pretty much like cattle, you know, beef, steak, something like that. The cameos was also, I have it right here, a type of goat, but it's like, or a mountain sheep. So different name at the time, but like kind of the same things that we eat today, right? No pig though, no horse, there's none of that. All right, so just so y'all remember, right? You can keep going. Go to verse 6.
Verse 6. And every beast that parteth the hoof and cleaveth the cleft into two claws and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat.
So that's like a cow. Like a cow cheweth the cud, and its hooves are cleaved a certain way, giving you a description of what you can and cannot eat. Keep going.
Verse 7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or of them that divideth the cloven hoof, as the camel and the hare and the coney.
So you can't eat a camel. I don't know why you would. I don't know if you've ever seen a camel. Just look at a camel. If that's appetizing to you, you're down horrendous, and I think you shouldn't do that. Right? Then you have what? The hare. A hare. You can't. So I know some of my southern folk out there. I hate to tell you this, but no. Rabbit stew is unlawful. Eating a rabbit, eating a hare is unlawful. I know that sounds crazy to some of y'all, because I know down south, the cuisine is a little different. I know, like, with alligator, crawfish, catfish, a lot of like seafood boils, like stuff like that. You're not supposed to eat it. And then, if you don't believe me, I mean, look what happens when we do eat it. You know, sodium levels skyrocket, right? Genetically, we're more susceptible to sodium than other races, right? Like Asians, most like Asians, Indians, mostly, I mean, technically Indians are Southeast Asian. So yeah, I guess I'll group them in. A lot of Europeans, it's actually like genetically, the way their body is, they can consume larger amounts of sodium than we can, and it doesn't affect them the same way. So again, going down to genetics, we can't do this. Lord don't want us to have that. So when you see them eating all that weird stuff, let them have the weird stuff. We got our food. You can have certain fish cooked, by the way, not raw, unless you want parasites. Just saying, you know. So that, you know, y'all pretty much get the point. You can continue on.
And the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you.
Mhm.
And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass.
Mhm.
So pretty self-explanatory. I think we went over more than enough. Don't eat swine. If you don't get it by now, I don't know what to tell you. But it also says, "Do not touch, nor touch their dead bodies." So what that means is, okay. So going back to Leviticus, I can't remember the amount of days. I want to say it could be about a week, give or take. I'm paraphrasing. If you were to ever touch like a freshly dead animal, right? I'm not talking about like you go to the meat market and you get like, a pound of ribeye steak. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about for whatever reason. Let's say you own a farm. Let's say you own a farm and like one of your animals passed, and now you gotta get rid of them. Whatever. It's not a sin to move their body or bear. Do what you got to do, right? That's not a sin. However, you are unclean though when you touch the dead body. You are now unclean. All right. Same thing if you were driving down the street and sadly, let's say like you hit a dog or something, and you're like, oh man, you ought to go check on the dog. The second you touch the dog, it's already deceased. You are now unclean. All right. You didn't sin. You're just unclean. Does that make sense? Okay. You can keep reading that.
Verse 9. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall ye eat.
Okay, so this is where some people kind of get confused, right? So the most obvious ones are like, can you eat calamari?
Blah,
Can you eat octopus?
blah,
Can you eat squid?
blah,
Can you eat oysters?
blah,
Can you eat clams?
blah.
Why?
They're unclean to us.
They're unclean. What do they not have?
Fins and scales.
They don't have fins and scales. That's an entirely different animal. Shouldn't eat it, right? Now, can you eat salmon?
Come.
Can you eat cod? Okay. Can you eat catfish?
Blah.
Why? What's the difference between those? Go ahead, you got it.
It ain't got fins and scales.
So it does have fins, but what does it not have?
Scales.
It doesn't have scales. Also, what do catfish eat?
Everything that's at the bottom, and anything in his way.
Anything in his way. Don't you see like there's like a common theme? Like the things we can't eat often are scavengers. You heard that term, you are what you eat. Well, you also eat what the other thing ate, if that makes sense. Like if you peep, I want to say, I think about it, almost all the animals that are lawful to eat for the most part, I want to say they're almost like vegetarians. I could, if I'm not mistaken, like you can't eat bear. Those things are loaded with parasites. You can't eat a lion. You can't eat a tiger. You can't eat a cheetah. You damn sure can't eat an alligator or a crocodile. Those are reptiles. You're not supposed to be eating reptiles anyway. But there's like a theme though. They're all like predators. Like their bodies are hardwired a certain way to break down like raw flesh. You get what I'm saying? So same thing with a pig. Pigs, like you said, like catfish, they eat whatever. Pigs ain't no different. All right, you're not supposed to eat that. Most of these animals that we eat, a cow eats grass. Sheep, ox, bulls, goats. For the most part, they eat grass unless you feed them something else, and that's on you. I seen a video. Somebody was feeding. They fed a cow a McDonald's burger. Insanity. But naturally, they don't eat that stuff. They're eating what they're eating. They're vegetarians, right? So there are certain fish you can eat, but then there's certain fish you can't eat. Can you eat shark?
Blah.
Why not? Fins and scales, right?
No scales.
So yeah, they have. Okay, so like they have no scales, but then there's like certain ones. Like okay, I'll give you a better one. Can you eat tuna?
Blah.
So technically, they have scales, but they're so like small, like they're almost not considered scales. So, and yes, you shouldn't eat tuna. What happens if you eat too much tuna? Does anybody know? Okay, tuna has something in it. Tuna has higher levels of mercury. Yeah, so if you eat like a lot of tuna, you can like get sick. Again, if you don't eat it, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Certain things you can eat, certain things you can't eat. Just so everybody understands, like there's certain fish that you really got to do your research, like, because I remember like it was like right before I joined the truth. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, I was one of them. I like seafood. I used to mess up a tuna melt. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did. And then I found out like, oh yeah, that thing unclean. I'm not supposed to even be eating it. And there's other alternatives, healthier alternatives, right? Long story short, Lord just wants you to be healthy. So we'll continue. You know, this is gonna go through like a list of things we can't eat, so on and so forth, right? So we'll just continue. All right, so we'll do the book of Deuteronomy chapter 14, start at verse 10, 10 to 16 in the Hebrew. All right, it's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 10. Ashar, Awaya, La'a, Mana Pa Ar, Wakwasha Kwasha'af, La'a, Fa Ba'oya, Sama'a, Hawaya, Laba'a, Labam, Ba'al, Tazapayar, Ha Ra'a, Thaba'oya, Haza'a, Ashar, La'a, Thaba'al, Laya, Maham, Hanashar, Wahab Parayam, Wa'ai Zanaya, Wa'arayam, Wa'af, Hawaya, Wadaya, Lama Yana'a, Wa'af, All, I Rob, Lama Naya'a, Wa'af, Ha'ai Na'a, Wa'af, Thaba, no, Hathana Ma'am, Wa'af, Hashakan, Wa'af, Hanataza, La Manaya'a, Af, Haba'at, Wa'af, Hayanasha Ya'an, Watha Nasha Ma'af. All right, that's it. All right, you can go to, I have a switch. So this time you'll read Book of Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 10 to 16.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 10. And whatsoever hath not fins and scales, ye may not eat.
Pretty much what we just went over. Keep going.
It is unclean unto you. Verse 11. Of all clean birds ye shall eat, but these are they of which ye shall not eat: the eagle, and the osprey, and the osprey, and the gliddy, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the fowl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind. Verse 16.
If I could real quick. So kind of going back to what I was saying before, you are what you eat. So some of these birds, I know like the words, different time, right? An ostrich, does anybody know what that is? Go ahead. Ostrich. I thought the same thing. You like it's so it's not an ostrich. It's a vulture. You ever eat a vulture? Why would you not eat a vulture?
They eat dead things.
Yeah, they eat dead things. Like, again, common theme. You are what you eat. We don't typically eat things that eat meat. You're not like a raven, an eagle. A lot of these type of birds, there's many different types of birds. You can eat a chicken, right? But what do chickens typically eat? They eat like grains or like seeds. I know there's like certain birds that might eat like insects. That's about as far as they'll go. What's a common theme with the other birds, like a raven, a vulture, an eagle, a hawk, like a crow? What do? They eat
whatever they come across.
They eat whatever they come across, and they are all categorized as birds of prey. They prey, they eat other birds. So we don't eat that. And again, like you said, like they eat whatever. Vultures for damn sure. Like vultures are like flying pigs, if you will. Like how pigs are scavengers and like a good farmer knows like you should have a pig on your farm because they eat whatever. They'll make sure everything clean. I'll tell you that much because they're gonna eat whatever. But a vulture, same thing. They're scavengers. They're birds of prey. Y'all ever seen a vulture eat? It's disgusting. I've read something. I used to watch like a lot of documentaries and stuff. Their like stomach acid is like so potent, like it dissolves like bones because they just eat like everything. And the reason why, like, you look at a vulture, like they have like feathers all down here, but then it's like their head is like bald. You know why their head is bald? Let's take a wild guess. Think like how they eat. Go ahead.
Dead skin?
So not dead skin. Okay, how can I say it? Okay, I'll give it to you for time's sake. The way vultures eat, like they stick their head like in the body. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have feathers like up here because if they did, it would like get stuck. Like it would get all in their fur and not fur, feathers. Just like it would get all in their feathers. So or they can get like caught up in it. So this is just straight bald. So they can just get in there and do what they got to do, and then like the rest of their bodies, like they don't got to stick their whole body in there. So we don't eat that. Everybody understand? I pray you do, because vultures are crazy. But go ahead.
Verse 16, the little owl and the great owl and the swan.
Okay, so pretty much, yeah, owls, same thing. Swan, even though some people may, because I think swans are usually associated with like beauty in a sense. Even them, you don't eat them neither. You don't eat swan. You don't eat hawk. I know we don't say it on here, but don't eat no ostrich. Like don't do that either. But these are all birds of prey though. That's kind of what we're going over, right? Same theme. So we'll continue. So we're gonna start verse 17.
I don't want.
What's up, Ab?
Even the ostrich eggs unclean?
I might have to get back to you on that because I'm not sure if their eggs are unclean. I don't know about that. I do know this though. Like ostrich eggs, first of all, are freaking huge, and they have I forgot how much. Like it's like one ostrich egg. I think is like equivalent to like 10 or like 20 chicken eggs. So I think like if you eat too much of it, you can get sick because it's like concentrated protein. It's like too much protein for your body. So don't quote me on that. I'm gonna find that out for you though, because that's actually a good question because I'm not sure. Let's see, 17 to 23. All right, so let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 17. Wa'ath, haraka ma'a, wayath, hashala'an, wahasa yada'a, wahana pa'a lama yana'a, wahada ba pa'ath, waha'ai salan, waba'o sharatazah, ha'ai ha'ayan, tama'a, ayan, laba'a, ba'a, waba ba'an, ba'o, ba'o, ayan, ha'a wa'ar, atha bala'a, la'a, thabala'a, bala. Oh, it's like a ball, it's like it. Ba'o, nabala'a, lagar, ashar, hasha'ai ra ya'an, thana'an, wahab bala'a, aya, mabar, lanabai raya, baya, ain, parayash, atha'a, laha ra'a, alhayan, la'a, thaba sha'o, gadaya, oh, it's like gadaya, hakalab, amaya, Ishar, the Ishar, Ath, Ba'al,
Thaba Ya'ath, Zara'ai, Haratazah, Hashada'a, Shana, Shana.
So we'll switch. So have you read Book of Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 17 to 23.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And the pelican, and the gird, eagle, and the cormorant.
Cormorant. It's like a sea bird, like kind of similar to like a pelican, if that makes sense. Keep going.
And the stork, and the heron, after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat.
So I think that's pretty. Okay, I don't want to sound redundant, but like this stuff sounds like pretty obvious, right? Like when in our culture have you ever seen us just eating like a bat? Never, right? You don't see that. Even like some of these other birds, like I'm pretty sure, like I said, a cormorant is a type of like sea bird, like a seagull or a pelican, something of that sort. A heron, how do I say this? Again, like a bird of prey. It's like I can't really show y'all. I have it on my phone, but you can look it up. Heron, it's a Heron. It's a pretty big bird. Like we don't eat those kind of birds. Heron and their kind, so they're kind of similar to like storks. We don't eat storks. There was something else. And a lapwing, just so I can get that for you real quick. A lapwing in here. It actually doesn't even specify. It just says an unclean bird. So that's literally, or a hoopoe. A hoopoe. I've never heard of that. Oh, it's a bird. It looked funky, so just don't eat it. That's about it. It's a lot here. You can keep going now.
Verse 19. And every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you.
Mm-hmm.
They shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls ye may eat. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. That shall give it unto strangers that is in thy gates, that he may eat it. Or thou mayest sell it unto an alien, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So what this means, before you finish this, it says, ye shall not of anything that dieth of itself. What does that mean?
It is all kind of like chemical.
So, okay, not diet, salakia, like dieth, like, how do I explain it? Like it died. Like it died naturally. Go ahead.
I was going to say it died of natural causes.
Yeah, it died of like natural causes. So like if you going down, okay, like, we eat chicken, right? But let's say like you on your farm and it's like there's a dead chicken, but it died like of its natural cause, and it's been laying out like all night. Would you eat that? You're not supposed to eat that, right? So that's what it means, like dieth of itself. Yeah, so like a carcass or a corpse. We don't eat that because if you were to eat that, what would that make you? Sick, but like there's what are animals that eat dead animals? What do we call them?
Cannibals.
Not cannibals. Those are animals that eat their own kind. What are animals that eat dead things? Like it's already dead. Scavengers. There you go. You would be a scavenger. We are not scavengers. If you peep, all the animals that we eat, even throughout history, like we had to either hunt it or like if you go to a butcher, the butcher not going to give you a goat that was already dead. Like it's been dead for 5 days, just out in the back. You got flies on it. There's maggots all up in it. Like he ain't going to give, a good butcher would not give you that. That's disgusting. But a good butcher, what they will do is they'll, first of all, make sure to get you a healthy goat, right? They're not going to get, like, let's say there's a goat over there, it's sick. A good butcher ain't going to give you that one. There's a healthy one over here. Why? Because you are what you eat, right? So if he give you a sick goat, you're like eating what's in it. Who knows what's in it? It could be parasites, might have a cold, whatever, and then you end up getting sick, right? Give it a clean one. And then they actively have to kill the goat, humanely, by the way. I have to say that because for a lot of, if you could, Baba Shah. But again, humanely, because a lot of like these farms nowadays, they do some messed up stuff to some of these animals. That's why you got like a lot of activists who are like against animal cruelty and stuff like that, and they're vegetarians. I ain't gonna be no vegetarian. Sluggy. I like food, but what I will say is I don't support animal cruelty. If you want to get rid of the animal, kill it humanely. Like we went to a butcher, police officer, not just I brought us to a butcher. This was like years ago, and the way he did it was like he comforted the animal, and he slit its throat, but then like he let it like bleed out first and pass like by itself. He wasn't over there blundering the freaking thing. You know what I mean? Like, because that's another thing that some farms do. Because meat sells by weight. So what some of them will do is they'll like beat the animal before they kill it. So I'm on Christ's side. They'll beat the animal before they kill it. The reason why is because when you beat it, your muscles tense up. And when your muscles tense up, it holds more blood. So when they kill it after it's like kind of like put in the shock, it's like the meat will hold more blood because it was in shock. But stress is also a toxin too. So that meat is not as healthy as it would be for you because it was in shock. It died in shock. You're eating like a stressful animal. Now you stress. Like that's why you have so many people out here. So again, like just don't do that. You own a farm or something like that. Don't just go out there just beating the freaking animal, man. Just let the animal go. Like Native Americans, like when they killed like the buffalo and the bison, right? They did it humanely. They didn't beat it to death. They weren't out there molesting the damn animal. Like they wasn't doing nothing like that. They had honor like for the animal, like because they understood like this is gonna feed our family, and they used the whole animal too. Like they used like the fur and stuff as like clothes. They would use like the bones and stuff for like weapons or like certain structures and stuff. Like they made sure to use the whole thing, but they only used what was needed. Though. They weren't abusing the animal. All right. Just to get you caught up to speed, we're in Book of Deuteronomy chapter 14. Where are you at right now? Like 21, 22? 21. Okay, that's where we're at right now. So we're just kind of going over like what's clean, what is not. Just real quick, we asked one of the brothers over here. Quick question: can you eat? Or actually, I'll just bring it back. I'll bring it back. Right? Where are we at? Where's the diet? That gates. Could you go back to verse 21, Baba Shah?
Come. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 21. Thee shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat of it. Or thou mayst sell it unto an alien, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk.
Okay, so we'll stop right there. Where it says, ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself, young man Mike, what does that mean?
That's like that'd be an animal. I want to say that we don't know how it died. Like, would that be like natural causes that?
Okay.
Like natural causes we don't know. It just died.
It just died,
Yes.
right? So if you have a farm, like you had chickens, and you come out the next day, one of the chickens are dead. Would you cook that chicken? Okay. Why?
Because it died of itself.
It died of itself. And if you were to eat it, he had it earlier, this is before you came in. What do we call animals that eat dead animals? Like they already died. What do we call them?
It's not just carnivorous. That's a vulture.
So what's a vulture?
That's a scavenger.
There you go. It's a scavenger, right? And can we eat scavengers? Right. We can't eat because they eat dead things. They got like their body is unclean. Like We don't eat what they eat. So if you eat an animal that died of natural causes, then you would be a scavenger. And we're not scavengers. So just so everybody kind of understands that, right? And it also says right here, thou shalt give it unto the stranger. Now, you've heard stranger a few times in the Bible, right? So a few times you might hear stranger. A stranger, again, context. This is how Christians, like, they get kind of warped in their own mindset. Sometimes you hear stranger and it might mean like a brother you don't know or a sister you don't know. But they're not a stranger in a sense of like they are not of your people. And I can prove that because if you keep going, it says, thou shalt not give it thou shalt give it unto the stranger. Again, we cannot be scavengers. So why would you give it to somebody who's in your own nation? Because then that would make them a scavenger. So the law is meant for you. I mean, like, the law can't be just for me. Like, you can't be a scavenger. You can't eat that, but then I'm gonna sell it to y'all. And it's like, well, now y'all are scavengers. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So you keep going on that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. For context, alien meaning what? Go ahead.
Someone foreign, someone that's not possessed.
You got it. Somebody who's foreign, somebody who is not of your nation. You can give it to them. If they want it, like, I mean, I don't know why somebody would do this, but again, just giving an analogy. You got a farm, I don't know, it's some Indonesian guy, I don't know. He sees that you had a dead chicken for whatever reason, he wants the dead chicken. He's like, hey, I'll give you $20 for that dead chicken. I don't know how you would ever be in the scenario, but I'm just making up something. You can sell it to him. Like, what he does with it, that's up to him. Like, okay, whatever. But you wouldn't sell it to Mike. He's of your people. You can't sell that to him. This is like, nah, like, what you gonna do with the chicken? Like, it's dead. You can't do nothing with it. You can't eat it. You can't touch it because then you're gonna be unclean. You know what I mean? So that's what that means. An alien, somebody who is foreign, somebody who is not of your nation. Does everybody understand? Okay, Most High in Christ. You can finish up. You can keep going. Verse 22.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bring forth year by year. Verse 23. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there, the tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always.
Okay, so thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. Meaning what? The land that we were given, right? This is the promised land that was promised unto us. We got it, but we had it. And at that time, well, what's one of the things that the Lord told us to do? He said, be fruitful and multiply. He wants more of us, right? Now, even with that mindset, be fruitful and multiply. How can we do that if we're breaking the law? How? If we're breaking the law, like we talked about this a few times, there's physical death and then there's spiritual death. But death is death, right? Spiritual death just kills you slowly, right? Lord's telling you be fruitful and multiply, but if we're breaking the law, something as simple as this, right? We eat unclean things. We're poisoning our bodies, right? Let's say you and your household, you and your rib eating unclean things. Salakia, y'all want kids. Now there's a chance that you might pass on whatever you got to your children, or they might not be as healthy, or they might have birth defects, or they might, like there's so many things that can go wrong, right? The Lord don't want that for you. He wants you to have many happy, healthy children. But for that, you got to be healthy. And for that, you got to follow the law. You see how like it just all connects? That's what he wants for you. You don't do that, then even you might not be. I think at some point, we all ate pork at some point. You eating pork, you eating all the unclean things, and you're just unhealthy. But you're 50 years old. You're alive. Right? You're alive. But do you feel alive? You moving slow. You winded when you going upstairs. You're on like two to three different types of medication because your blood pressure's too high. That's not living. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, that's not living. The Lord don't want you to be that. Like, I know it sounds crazy. Like 50 sound old to us. 50 really not that old. It's really not. Like, I promise you, it's not. It's not. Like, you only as old as you feel. I promise you. I promise you. My dad, I ain't gonna go with it, but he over 50. I gotta say that, right? But still in shape, still takes care of himself, still active. I remember I had a neighbor, this was like years ago. I think I was probably like 16. I had this neighbor. Dude was like 80 something. You could not tell he was 80. Still like had his mind intact, and he used to go for walks every day. I'm talking about he'll walk for miles. That's it. Like, no, he didn't even lift weights, wasn't running like that. He just walked. Walking within itself, that's exercise right there. You'd be surprised how beneficial just walking is good for you. You know what I'm saying? You know what's sidebar? 80-something years old, right? You want to know what happened? That brother was so healthy. That brother had another kid. Hey, look. Like, hey, most high cried. Like, he had another kid. I was like, all right. You got it out. But, like, he was able to do it, though. He was just healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, brother in the world, I'm pretty sure, he probably ate some unclean things. But my point is, take care of yourself. That's all. The Lord just wants you to take care of yourself. And you'll feel better. You don't want to be 25 years old. You're talking about you got back problems. I'm 25. You should not be having back problems. Unless you injure yourself, obviously. But, like, you shouldn't be, like, overweight or, like, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, the Lord just wants the best for you. That's all it is. It's like, all right, so you already read 23. So, okay, that's it on that. So we will continue. So verse 24. So we'll actually go to Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 24 to 15 and 1. All right, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 23. Here we go. Wayabalath, Lanapanya, Yahweh, Alahayim, Ba Korayam, Ashar, Wayabakar, Lashabaan, Shamayam, Sham, Ma'ai Shar, Daga Nun, Faya Rasha'an, Wayataza Ra'ah, Waba Ra'ath, Ka Bakwa Ra'an, Wataza Nayam, Lama'ain, Falamad, La Ya Ra'ah, Af, Yahweh, Alahayim, let's see, All, Haya Ma'am, Yaba'ah, Waraba'ah, Maman, Hadama, Hadarun, Ya La'ah, Faya Ba'al, Shatya, Ba'al, Waya Kwa'ak, Mama'ak, Hama Kwa'am, Ashar, Yaba Ka'ar, Yahweh, Alahayim, Lashayam, Shamya, Sham, Ba'ah, Waya Bara Ba'an, Yahweh, Alahayim, Waya Natha'ah, Babsa'ah, Wataza Ra'ath, Habasa'an, Waba Bayadan, Wala Ba'ath, All, Hama Kwaram, Ashar, Waba Ka'ar, Yahweh, Alahayim, Baya, Wanatha'an, Habasa'ah, Babal, Ashar, Thaya'an, Napa Pashaya, Baba Kwa'ar, Wabataza'ah, Waba Ya'an, Waba Shah Ba'ar, Waba Ba'al, Ashar, Thashalayan, Napasha'ad, Bala'af, see, Sham, Lapanya, Yahweh, Alahayan, Washa, Maka'ath, Atha, Wana, Waba Ya'af,
Wahalayan Ashar, Ba'ai Ra'a, Ba'a, Tha'ai Zabanya, Baya, Bayan La'a, Kala'ak, Wana Kala'a, Aimad, Makwataza'a, Shalash, Shanyam, Thayataza'a, Ath, Ba'o, Ma'aishar, Thabayathaan, Bashanya, Hahaya, Wana Ka'ath, Basha'ai Ra'an, Wana Waba'a, Hala'ai, Bayan, Hayaz, La'a, Kalak, Wana Kala'a, Aimad, Wahaga'ar, Wahathaya'am, Wahala Manya Ashar, Basha'ai Ra'an, Wabalaya, Washaba'aya, Lama'ain, Wabarab Ba'an, Yahweh, Alahayan, Babor, Ma'ai Sha'an, Wada'an, Ashar, Tha'ai Sha'a, last verse. Let's see. Makwataza, Shama'ai, Shanya'am, Tha'aisha, Shama Sa'a. All right. So, actually, I'm going to have young man Mike read this time. So, Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 23 to 15 and 1.
Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 23. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn.
Oh, Salakia. My fault. Verse 24.
Salakia. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 24. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money and bind up the money in thy hand, and shalt go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow the money, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. Verse 27. And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part, no inheritance with thee.
Okay, stop right there. Does anybody remember what that means? I went over it last week. Talking about the Levites, right? Well, okay, man, that's kind of giving it away. What was so special about the Levites at that time?
They were priests.
They were priests, right? Right? Okay, so read that last verse one more time. Verse 27.
And the Levite that is within thy gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part, no inheritance with thee.
What does it mean that he had no inheritance with thee? What does that mean? I went over it last week. Now they're Levites, right? These are the priests. They were the only priests at that time. We're saying that he have no inheritance with thee. What does that mean? Go ahead.
They didn't get a land like amongst the other tribes.
Most High in Christ. Okay, so yes. So if you look at like an old map at that time, certain like tribes were kind of like, we had territories. Like y'all heard a lot, like you have northern tribe, southern tribe. Like southern tribe is more so like Judah, later on Levi, Benjamin, stuff like that, right? And then you had the northern tribe, okay, kind of like a pop quiz. Who was kind of like in charge of the northern tribe at that time? What tribe was it? Go ahead.
Chicago,
Nice car.
Puerto Rico.
And who are the Puerto Ricans? You got it. I'm gonna give him a chance. Go ahead. What tribe are the Puerto Ricans? because you got it. I'll give you a hint. There were two brothers that were given the inheritance, right? We have, like Judah, Simeon, Levi, Benjamin, like we have all those tribes, right? And there were two brothers. There was a man named Joseph. He had two sons. One was going to be greater than the other. One of them was Manasseh. Who was the other one? Mike, like, I know it.
My brain old right now, and I know.
It's all right. What you got, Mike? Go ahead.
Ephraim.
Oh, sorry, Fred. You had it though.
I know you know it.
You had it. I just wanted you to say the tribe, but yes, at that time it was Ephraim, right? So like, but what Judah is, like Judah's mainly like the tribe that kind of like represents the southern tribe, and then you got Ephraim, who's like kind of like more like the representative for the northern tribe. If that makes sense. So at this time, going back what you said, right? Levites were the only priests, so they weren't given like a designated territory, right? But they were the priests. These are still our brothers, right? I mean, shoot, Moses let us up out of here. You Levite, you really want to think about it? The Levites got us up out of here. Go ahead.
Would Levites be like our bodyguards type within our tribes?
So I wouldn't say necessarily bodyguards. Like every tribe, which I'm pretty sure y'all already know this, every tribe kind of has like a certain type of spirit that kind of goes from. If you want to think bodyguard, think more. I guess Benjamin, yeah, because Benjamin's kind of known. We got a reputation. I'm going to say that, but yeah, we're kind of known for being a little bit more. We don't like to. Yeah, it's like we don't like to be in the spotlight, but like if we get active, we'll get active for you. Like it's kind of like that. Like think. I'm trying to think. Think like, okay, Christ, Judah, right? Who was the man that sliced off somebody's ear for getting too close to Christ? Who? It's Peter. What tribe was he?
Yeah, I want to say Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Right?
It's Benjamin. Like Benjamin's kind of known, like
Machete.
yeah, it's like yeah. It's like I'm kind of like snitching on myself, but Levi is more. Levi got a certain kind of spirit, like they got a certain kind of zeal about them, and you still see it today. Like we went over it last week. Like Levites are the so-called Haitians, right? They were one of the only tribes to like successfully like beat the French. Like they beat them. Like I forgot his name because it's in French, but it was the Haitian brother who led the Haitian Revolution, and they won. That's why I like a lot of. Go ahead.
It was straight Haitians when that fight was going on.
Pretty much.
It was just straight. So you mean to tell? So like when the white people come and they ready to go in and do whatever they trying to do to the Haitians. Haitians wasn't having it.
Haitians was not having it. Like none of us was having it, but like Haitians really are like to this day, like Haitians don't play, man. Like don't get me wrong, like all tribes don't play, but like Haitians, I gotta hand it to the Levites don't play, man. But they have like a certain zeal, like I believe it's in Numbers. It's been a while since I've read it, but I'm paraphrasing. There's a time where there was a priest, I forgot his name, Salakia, but there was a priest. And he was making deals with like foreigners. And at that time, they was like pouring like pig's blood on the altars. And it was real bad. Well, the Levites found out they were not happy about that. And all I'm going to say is they corrected that real quick. That's why like they were like the priests at the time, because it's just in them. Like they don't play when it comes to like doing the work of the Lord. All right. Like y'all see Haitians? Like it's just something about them. Same thing like with Isupk. Isupk is just known, like they don't care. Like they'll just power through stuff. They'll just work and work and work. And I'm like, are you not tired? I'm on my second break. Isupk still working. I'm just and they ain't even breaking a sweat, but that's just who they are. Judah is known for being like in the forefront, or kind of like, I don't want to say like the favorite child. It's not that, but it's like, okay, whose culture influences multiple different cultures around the world. It's Judites. So-called Black Americans, like everybody love hip hop, even though they try to degrade it so much. Everybody love hip hop. And why do you think they got people in Japan? I've never seen this. Japanese people got braids. Have you seen Japanese people hair straight? But like they figured out how to like coil up their hair so that their hair can look like mine. It's crazy. But that's what they do. Like people will mock Judites, but then want to copy Judites. I digress. You get the point though. But that's where I was at. It's like, go ahead.
He was asking about the inheritance. What about they have no part of inheritance?
Yeah, verse 27.
Yes. That
Oh no,
that was when you was asked the question you asked.
Thawada. Yeah, no, I was trying to get back to where I was, but yes, going back to the original points, like I got kind of sidetracked. Yes, they were not given a specific land, like you said, of inheritance. So when it's saying in the Levite that is within thy gates, meaning within your land, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, meaning just because he doesn't have a designated territory, that's still your brother. Like you don't, again, Levites were the reason why we got up out of Egypt. So you're not gonna, like, you're gonna treat them the same as everybody else. Just because they don't have Levite territory don't mean nothing. Those are still your brothers. Those are still your sisters. I hope. Does that make sense? Going up a little bit. So going over verse 24. Let me go back real quick. Verse 24. It says, and if the way be too long for thee, so thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. Meaning what? It's talking about long distance travel. Like if the journey's like too long and like, you know, you're carrying like all your belongings and stuff, you're permitted to sell like, you know, like produce, livestock. Like you're permitted to sell certain things. So pretty much you can, you know, help out yourself. That's pretty much what it means. We'll continue, just kind of give you like what that means. I know some people might have questions about that, like what that's talking about. So we can continue. So we already went through 27. You can go to verse 28.
So like I said, isn't it for that part about do not forsake the Levites? Wasn't it our job? We have to. The other tribes have to take care of the Levites because the Levites take care of us, like spiritually, correct? Like,
yeah, like at that time, like think of like they were the priests, right? They don't have a designated land. Like they still live places, but it's like they might live in like the territory of Ephraim or Judah or Manasseh, whatever, right? But it's like they're still our brothers, and they're the priests at the time. So it's like they are the priests. They take care of us. We take care of them. So that's what it means by like do not forsake him. Like no, like a Levite come in town, like just because he might not be from there, again, you take extra care of him because you know that he doesn't have a designated land, and he's probably a priest. If that makes sense. So you got it. So we'll, if you could, before I continue, any more questions? Everybody good? Okay. All right. So we'll verse 28.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 28. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thy increase the same year, and shalt lay it up within thy gates.
Mm-hmm.
And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thy hand which thou doest.
So kind of going back to where you were asking, we take care of them, they take care of us. At that time, it's not like now, like we're under captivity, so like we have like our slaves and stuff like that. So we do other things other than just doing the work for the school. At this time, the priests, that was their job. That was it. So their way of living, in a sense, was kind of like we give them like our tithes, like which is a tenth of our earnings, right? And if everybody's giving their tithes, pretty much the priests are taken care of. That's what it's saying, like, you know, they eat of, or now again, it says, and the stranger. Remember, Context. Before, when we're talking about the stranger, who are we talking about? The heathen, right? That's not what this is talking about right now. We're in our land. We ain't talking about, okay, we're going to give it to the heathen. No. We're talking about the stranger as in like a brother or sister that you might not know of, right? Or a brother or sister that might be like a little less fortunate. You know, they might not have like as much money or as much livestock as you. So it's like they kind of like live off of the tithes a little bit too. It's really meant for the priest, but we're all being taken care of. You had your hand raised? Go ahead.
Is that why I double down when it said the fatherless and the widow?
Yes.
Bounce back on our culture?
Yes. Like we take care of our own, and that's a great point. Yes, the fatherless, meaning what? Kids ain't got no father. Orphan, an orphan. So who gonna take care of the orphan? They ain't got no family. So the tithes, right? This is how it worked at that time. And like you said, the widow. A widow is what?
A woman that lost her husband.
A woman that lost her husband. So yeah, I think she probably was with him 20, 30 years. Sadly, he passed, right? She ain't got no man to take care of her now. Now it's kind of like, well, now what? You know, this was like, you know, things were different back then. Like the man was the one, like, I mean, y'all heard it before, protect and provide and stuff like that, which we still try to do now, but you know, Esau got to mess up everything. But this is before, like, you know, Esau came into play and like oppression. So we were doing what we naturally did. Like the men, you know, we tended to the farm, you know, we taking care of everything, making sure our wives are good, kids good, you know, she cooking and clean, like we all good. But then sadly, brother passed. She ain't got nobody now. Kids already grown up, they out of the house, you know, they got their own families and stuff. Not saying that they ain't trying to help their mother, but she might need some extra help. You know what I'm saying? So the tithes. So those tithes circled within our community. That makes sense? Which is what's supposed to happen, and why, I'll give you an example like today, right? This is why so many different brands try to advertise to the Black community, because it's not that we're poor. We have, how do I say it? We don't manage our money well. Like, and it's kind of like, it don't matter what state you in, like you'll find an area where it's like, brother might not have much, but he look clean though. You know that, and it's like that's what we'll prioritize. We'll prioritize like we'll look good. We got all the chains and like we got the latest designer shoes, but we ain't got no car. But it's like we had the money to get the car, but we just didn't get it because we trying to impress people. It's like the mindset isn't there. But that's by design though. They want that because sadly a lot of us, even like our ancestors, we had to like strive to get to where we're at. At some point, like we did learn, but some of us didn't get there yet. So, you know, once we do get a little bit of money, it's like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And then we get it, but then it's like, we were never taught finances or our financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they push, like, I mean, I've seen it before. Like, I don't think it's as big now, but y'all remember like Gucci, Versace, like all that stuff. Like that was like constantly like thrown in our community. And brothers would get it. They look clean. But they ain't got shit. It's like it. But that's how they got to us. So at this time, we weren't affected by something like that. We looked at it like, yo, like, I got money, you got money, you got money, you got money. Brother over there might not got a lot of money. So we just take a tenth, just a tenth of what we make. That way we can still take care of ourselves. Give it to the priest, give it to the school, in a sense, right? But then you got to think everybody's doing that. Everybody giving a tenth, that tenth accumulates real quick. So then all the brothers and sisters who are less fortunate, they can be taken care of. That makes sense? That's how it's supposed to be. But, you know, that's why white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he knows that's how we used to operate. But now, you know, we got to get back to that. Salakia, I seen you had your hand up.
Would that be more work? Would that be considered a fight against this plot against us? Would it be more? Would we cause him to more work? Like when you were saying, like the brother didn't get the car, but if he got the car, if he budgeted his shit right, he would. If he budgeted his meanings right,
Mm-hmm.
would that make more work for the white man? And would that be a better fight for us against our poverty?
In a sense, yes, because now it's like, okay, think of it like this. Yeah, it's like a mindset. So like, boom, Brother gets some money, right? But it's like he's being taught finances and how to manage his money correctly. So now, not saying you can't have nice things, because let's be real, we all like nice things. But it's like he's prioritizing where his money goes more. So now he's not prioritizing designer clothes. He's prioritizing the car. Now, again, everything starts at home, that mindset. He might strive his way, get a rib, right? He got kids. He teaches that to his kids early. Let's say the brother, he didn't figure that out until he was like 30. But then now he's teaching his kids. They got to figure it out at 15. It's like you're already setting them up for success so that the next generation does better. And then so on, and then so on. And that kind of that deconstructs what the white man has implemented on us, because again, everything is by design, right? The reason why you see the things you see today, like why like a lot of so-called black men get like, excuse my language, but shitted on, right? Or you hear like the terms like niggas ain't, y'all heard that, right? It's not because our women really hate us. No, they were taught that way, because you got to think for centuries. I know like it sounds crazy, but for centuries, they were shown that a black man cannot protect them. They were shown that. Like, there's a reason why you heard it before, like breaking the buck and like, like the lynchings and all that stuff. They made sure to do it in front of our women and our children, because it's a psychological warfare. Because as a woman, she's looking at it like this, like these are the men that are supposed to protect me, right? But then she's seeing y'all, me included, like getting offed, but in front of her by the oppressor. So that does something to her brain. She's thinking, damn, he really can't protect me. Let's say we just get wiped out. We were killed, right? Kids were left behind. Now you got 2 daughters, 2 sons, right? That were left behind. Now her mind is going survival mode. She needs to make sure that her kids survive. How does she do that? She's going to teach her daughters to be just like her, meaning now she's the head of the household. There is no man now. Now she got to make, make arrangements with the oppressor and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not communicate, compromise with the oppressor, right? Now she got to do it. But then hold up, you got sons, right? The sons will be raised to be physically strong, but be obedient and shut up, submissive even. That's why you see that like trickled on, even like back then, like what was it, like the government used to like come over to like sisters' houses and like try to see like if like a man was there or whatever, so they can get government assistance. If she was married and there was a man there, she would not get government assistance. So a lot of sisters would lie and be like, oh yeah, I'm single, blah, 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 whatever, or they wouldn't get married on paper. But the man is there, but he gotta like hide. But even with that, it's showing, hey, we'll give you money if you don't have a man. The man is obsolete. It's a mindset, and it's trickled for centuries. So now you have a generation, not all, of course, of sisters who probably don't even realize it, but have like some type of resentment or dislike for black men. Still marry us, still have kids with us, still lay down in bed with us. But it's like something in the back of their head, like, he ain't shit. Like, it's just something in there. But again, that's not because of her, though. She was taught that. Her mother was taught that. Her grandmother was taught that. Her great-grandmother was taught that. And it passed down. It passed down. It's like it's a generational curse. And that plays into what you're bringing up. That financial, being educated financially, right? That was not taught to our great-great-grandfathers. It was taught to them. So how are we going to learn if that was never taught to him? He can't teach his son and so forth and da-da-da. So it's like at some point, one of us, we got to figure it out. But all it takes is one, though. So you might not figure it out until you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. But you figured it out. You got kids. You teach them. They got to figure it out earlier on. Now, your grandkids, their mindset is way different than what you were taught. And that deconstructs what the white man has been teaching us for centuries. The psychological warfare. So yes, that is fighting. It's fighting back against that, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So that's a great question though, because a lot of this, it's a mindset. Like I brought out a few weeks ago, Black Americans have this is crazy, $2.1 trillion worth of spending power. I don't even know what $1 trillion looks like. I never will. But that sounds crazy though, right? Because statistically, Black households, I'm talking about all across the board, not as an individual. I got you 1 second. We have the lowest income out of everybody, right? But we have $2.1 trillion worth of spending power. You know what that shows me? That shows me we got money somewhere, but it's not being implemented in the right things though. It's being like, we are also statistically the only ethnic group in America that spends money outside of our community more than anybody else. That money don't circulate with us. But you see what happens when it does. That makes sense? Go ahead, Al.
When you say that we got $2.3 trillion worth of spending power, just trying to level them on the power. Is that dollar for dollar? Is that okay, since we have $2.3 trillion worth of power, worth of spending power, is that our tithes? Could you say? Is that I'm relating back to our tithes, how it goes around?
Okay, I think I get what you're asking. So, okay, I'm gonna create a hypothetical. Let's say everybody was in the truth, right? That $2.1 trillion worth of spending power. Take a tenth of that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Just to kind of give you like a real number. Spending power. Okay, so yeah, right here it says Black Americans' total annual buying power is projected to reach or exceed $2.1 trillion, driven by growth that has expanded 2.4 times since 2000. Okay, so let's say, okay, let's talk about this real quick. So this is economic impact and trends, right? So we talked about $2.1 trillion worth of spending power, right? So right here it says discretionary spending. Black households account for roughly 14% of total U.S. discretionary spending. So it says representing over $272 billion spent on non-essentials. So again, a large amount of our money is spent on again, excuse my language, but bullshit, right? Not saying you can't buy other stuff. We buy other stuff, but it's think about how much money is spent on there's a lot of people they're not putting money towards their kids' future, or buying necessities, or making sure you got a car, or your kids got a car, or making sure your bills are paid. This is money that's just being thrown out. We'll never see it again, right? It says more than half of the Black population is under 35, heavily dictating digital trends, whatever. Okay, about 67% of Black consumers actively seek alternative brands if a company fails to support social values or causes they care about. Meaning we're constantly seeking other brands that have nothing to do with us to spend our money. So $2.1 trillion, right? So tithes is a tenth of what we make. So I'm just going to type in what is a tenth of 2.1 trillion. This is if everybody was in the truth and everybody, I'm talking about every single and mind you, this is just America, by the way. I'm not even talking about the entire world. Just in America, if all of us decided to just let our money circulate within our community and every household just gave a tenth of what they make, right? It would be that would be $210 billion. 200, if we, mind you, this is just here, just in North America, if we all, mind you, I'm only talking about one tribe, by the way. I'm only talking about Judites. $210 billion in just floating within just one community. If everybody gave a tenth, you see what I mean? Like this was that. Like what's going on right here? That's what we're supposed to be doing, but we don't. So there's just to give you to give it to you like this. There's $210 billion that could just be flowing in our community. That's just out, it's gone, never to be seen again. Because we want the new shoes. You know,
yearly.
probably, yeah. Yeah. I'm shocked my damn self. I never even looked into it that much. That's crazy.
It's like 250 something, like million.
Yeah,
It's
we
still a
talking
lot, but that's
billions of dollars. Billions.
like I said. That if I may, that shows how systematic that
Yes.
that's the cunning that Esau does. They know that. He knows he knows exactly that. To where if we had that to do like it says, like the widow, the fatherless, to know that, because even on the wrong side with the Christians, if they believe in because Christ said, treat your neighbor like, that's what this is almost saying.
Yeah.
Treat your neighbor like you want to be treated. To where when it's saying help the stranger and the widow, that's helping us. We're helping each other. To where that amount of money, that's a nation.
Yeah,
That's a whole nation that's built that can thrive and take care of itself to start building, and that's when the part about not having to borrow from anybody.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. This is, like you said, systematic oppression is real. If you teach a nation, or I guess not teach them how to properly manage their finances, and you're constantly pushing all these other brands, all this other stuff that we don't need in our faces all the time, and then you deprive us of basic necessities, it's a setup. That's what it is. That's why a lot of times when you see a lot of brothers, when they do get money, they don't come back to the black community to make it better. No, they splurge. They splurge. They just dump all this money into food that they never probably had before, drugs, women, clothes, all the carnal things, right? Whole time they probably could have, I don't know, paid off their mom's house, helped out of so much. But then we have that mindset of I made it out, why didn't you? Selfish. But they're banking on that. Literally, they're banking on that. They want you to be selfish. I'm gonna give it to you some more, right? So we talked about, so if Black Americans gave a tenth of their earnings, $2.1 trillion worth of spending power, right? That's $210 billion. So I Googled how many Black Americans live in the United States. It says anywhere from 49.2 to 52.8 million. If we gave a tenth of what we have to our own community, we would have 210 billion. We're not even $500 million in this country, meaning everybody getting taken care of. Everybody's getting fed. Everybody get clothes. Everybody get food. Everybody got a roof over their heads. Everybody gets education. Everybody. It's like when you really when you do the math, it's crazy. We talking about, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna put roughly 15 minutes. Let me put something real quick. Now y'all done got me on. Y'all done got me on this now. Hold on. Let me see. It's divided by 50 million.
son. That's man, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. It's just really when you put it into perspective. Like,
Wow, it's like 5 million per person or something.
I'm trying to. I think it's like, let me see, 2.2 billion divided by. If it's that's approximately. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
Like 2.5.
We're getting. Wait, is it 2?
Yeah, 500 million. Huh? Yeah, 500 million. 999 million is basically a billion. That's what if you take a million,
Okay. Okay, each person will receive $4,200. Okay. So would you compare this number to the current average? Okay, it's not as much as I thought, but it does put into perspective though. So what I did is I did $210 billion divided by, I kind of like averaged it out because it says anywhere between 49.2 to like a little over 50 million. So I did like 50 million. And I was like, if everybody was given a certain amount of the 210 billion, right, then everybody would have at least $4,200. Now that don't sound like a lot, right? But when we're talking about a tenth, again, we're talking about a tenth of $2.1 trillion. You know what I'm saying? That's still a lot of money, but everybody would be taken care of. It's just, oh man, it's like I already knew some of this stuff, but like when you really like look at the math, that's really crazy. We got all that money and we just throw it away. Mind you, I'm talking about just a tenth of the 2.1 trillion. I ain't talking about like half or nothing. Like I'm talking about just like a little smidge. Think about it. Every single Black American in the United States would have over $4,000. Everybody, just as a base.
That's crazy.
Just as a base. Like that's not accounting for your slave. That's not accounting for like any other income you got coming in. You just got 4 G's, just chilling. And then what you choose to do with that is up to you. And again, we're talking about a 10. We're not even talking about the full $2.1 trillion. I have to do the math later on because I don't know. It's man.
That's so like
But Slovakia, I know we kind of dwelling on this, but like I really want people to understand like why it's so important. Like we gotta let the money, like we gotta take care of ourselves, y'all. Why, like the reason why they bombed all our schools, the reason why we got the Devil's Punch Bowl, and you heard about the Tulsa Massacre and all this stuff is because they did not want Black people to be self-sufficient. They did not want that because they knew what would happen. Go ahead.
No Levites.
Nope. You know what I'm saying? That's what they wanted. So now that we all know this, right? What should you do? Let that money circulate within your community. We're gonna spend it on nonsense anyway, realistically. Like, go ahead.
pay your tithes.
Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. Just a tenth. I ain't saying you gotta we ain't telling you, we ain't the Christian church. We ain't telling you to dump your whole freaking paycheck. We know you got mouths to feed and family to take care of. We know, we know it's California. We know. Just a tenth. Just a tenth. That's it. That's it. You'd be surprised how far that money goes. Because I know some people might think like, oh, well, 4 G's isn't really a lot nowadays. Let me tell you something right now. That's 4 G's. This is 4 G's you don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, that's not accounting for everything else. You just have 4 G's chilling in your bank. That could save you one day because you can get fired tomorrow. That's just savings that might get you by for a little bit until you get a new slave. That's crutch money. Go ahead.
And then it's recurring if we spend it with ourselves. It's just a recurring, ongoing 5,000, 4,000.
I don't know if y'all heard him, but he said that's a recurring, meaning that's continuous money. Because if you keep, I'm glad you said that. If you keep paying your tithes and you allow for the money to circulate, hypothetically, if we all did this, right? That's a continuous 4 G's. So put it like this. Let's say, I'm just making up something. Let's just say everybody paid their tithes once a month. Once a month, you get 4 G's. Just because. I'm just curious. It just says 4,200, right? We're going to do some math real quick. What's 4,200 times 12? That's over 50 grand a year. Like, that's just 50 grand. That's just free. Again, not accounting for what the money that you make too. That's 50 grand a year. Just cause. If hypothetically we all did this. Again, mind you, I'm just talking about North America. I'm not even taking into account all the other tribes. I didn't even bring in Isupk. I didn't even bring in Mexico. I didn't bring Puerto Rico. I didn't talk about Colombia. I didn't talk about Guatemala. I didn't talk about none of that yet. We're talking about just one tribe. If we were all on the same accord, we'd all just said, hey, let's just pay our tithes. Cool. Go ahead.
So that would be what we say, money while you sleep, residual income.
Yes. Like, you see how, come on, man. Oh my gosh. You see what would happen if we all just worked together? See what happened? But that's why the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks.
That's right.
That's why, right? If you don't take nothing from my class, if you think I'm just feeding y'all a bunch of BS, if you don't take nothing, y'all are missing out on $50K a year because of the white man. Simply with just money circulating. Go ahead.
And Wendy's only pay you about $30,000 every year. So there goes your slavery. You can you invest right more into your own.
There you go.
Children.
There you go.
Husband, wife, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And half the time when you work at your slave, you know they tax the hell out of you.
Right.
We talking about state taxes and federal taxes. So I was doing some math. It was like at my old slave, like my supervisor, they average out like a little over 100K a year, right? So I'm making up a number like 110K, right? You think that's their take-home money? No. You subtract maybe about a good like $30,000. That's how much they're actually bringing back home. So you said Wendy's, right? Okay, boom, you work at Wendy's, you make 30K a year, right? Boom, we got an extra 50. That's 80K a year. There you go. Go ahead.
FICA wouldn't exist.
Come on, man. Come on, man. If y'all don't take nothing from my class, please,
Man.
just if for whatever, if there's something in your heart that's like, I don't really know. I'm bringing out real numbers here. Real numbers. $2.1 trillion worth of spending power. If every single person gave a tenth of that, every single person would have $4,200, and that would be residual income. All right, that'd be a continuous thing. Meaning, if you just paid everybody, right, 10% every month, that is $50,400 a year. Not taxed, by the way. So that's your take-home money. That's everybody. That's everyone. Go ahead.
If I could,
Go ahead.
And nobody can say you got more than me.
Nobody.
We're all the same.
We all the same.
So there's no hating, none of that.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's fed. Everybody's taken care of. Everybody got clothes on their back. Everybody got a car. Everybody is fine. And like you said, now there's no room for jealousy. There's no room for envy. There's no reason to steal. You don't have to worry about doing something that you probably really wouldn't want to do. Selling drugs, selling your body, doing something like that just to make ends meet. 'Cause that's why a lot of people do it nowadays. And it's really sad. You know, we're about to continue. We'll wrap it up in a second, but like that's another reason why like a lot of our brothers and sisters do the things that they do today, because I don't know if y'all know now, like it's like the new generation, like streamers, YouTube, like all like that type of stuff, right? almost all of them got a OnlyFans account on the side. You don't know why? Because they feel like, hey, that's easy money. I might as well. We got a generation of sisters who would rather show their body online to make money than just go like be a nurse or something. And I know that sounds crazy, but you gotta think like we're talking about in the world, right? People in the world, their mindset is probably like, why would I sit here and spend all these hours losing sleep, busting my behind to go be like an RN, right? Working crazy hours. Well, you can just sell your body online. Make 5 times the money, right? Brothers, same thing. That's why, like, even like brothers, like, okay, like, why would I become a doctor? Why would I become think like an electrician? Why would I become a plumber? Right? Good money, right? But then working crazy hours, high stress, a lot of time from home, right? I should just be a streamer. Now, is there anything wrong with streaming? No, there's not necessarily anything wrong with it. But what it starts to do is when a generation starts to prioritize something like entertainment, you're taking away skills. Now we're running out of, we don't need more streamers. We don't need more YouTubers. We don't need more movie stars. We need more electricians, plumbers, mechanics, engineers, firefighters, nurses, doctors. We need things that actually benefit the community, but they don't want to do that anymore. Why? Why do that when you can just go do that? That's the mentality. But none of this would happen. You feel me? I'm just saying. Salakia. Pay your tithes. Salakia. You always say, no, pay your tithes. Salakia. Oh my goodness. Like, we'll, for the sake of for time, I'll just have you read the rest in English and we'll wrap it up. I had you end 15 and 1, so you can start Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 2, and go all the way to 22.
This is the book of Deuteronomy. Did I read verse 1?
Did you?
No, I just stopped.
You can start at verse 1 then.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth out unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Verse 3. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but thou which is thine with thy brother thine hand shall release. Verse 4. Say, when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to all these commandments which I command thee this day.
Okay, so where are you at right now?
Verse 6.
Okay, so we'll stop right there, right? Okay, let's kind of go over what we're talking about. Okay, so verse 1. So it says, Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. So what this is talking about is like a release of like debts. So what it's saying is like every 7th year, creditors must release like brothers or sisters from their debts. You can't like demand payment because like enough time has passed. So it's a system pretty much like nobody's in debt. That makes sense? Go ahead.
That's like things fall off your credit report after 7 years.
That's perfect. Literally. The water. I didn't even think about that. So that is this right here, right? Now again, we're talking about, it's crazy. People think the Bible is a bunch of nonsense. If y'all don't say none from my class, we're talking about finances in the Bible. Like we're talking about, if y'all think it's a bunch of hocus pocus and we don't know, like I'm a wizard up here or something. we're talking about finances in the Bible. We're talking about giving a tenth, right? Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. We don't just say pay your tithes just to pay your tithes. Like the Christian church tells you to pay your tithes because that money just goes to them. That doesn't circle around the community. That's why you see all these pastors, they be rich. They be having all these, don't let it be a mega church. A mega church ain't nothing but a dressed up Chris Brown concert. That's all that is. They be doing backflips in the air and doing all this other crazy stuff. I'm like, where you get the money to do all this stuff? Meanwhile, sister homeless. Like, brother got one pair of clothes, but you ain't gonna give that money to him. This ain't that. Pay your tithes mean like just like that money circulates in the school. Like when certain things happen in the school, that money comes from the school. You know what I'm saying? Like camp funds, we pay our camp funds. So if something happens, like we all pitch in our money so that it circulates back to us when we do our barbecues. Other people outside of here don't pay for the barbecue. We fund ourselves. But it's like if everybody give a little bit here, a little bit here. Like don't burden one brother like, hey, we need you to pay $2,000. No, we're not. And we, if every brother give $10, right? But everybody do it. Boom. Now we reach the goal. It doesn't put a financial burden on anybody, and everything's taken care of. Everybody pitch in. Everybody break bread. That's the mindset, right? And now we're talking about a release of debts. Every 7 years, your neighbor, your brother, like that debt got to get released, right? But it's that way so that nobody is in debt. Nobody's hurting. It's a system, a financial system. The Lord is teaching you about finances. This is why we got to get in this Bible, man. This is why we got to that's why we here. That's why we here. Slacky. If I could, you stopped at verse 6. You can continue. You can go to verse 7.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 7. If there be among you a poor man,
okay,
of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates, in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thy hand from thy poor brother.
Keep going.
But thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need and that which he is wanted.
So again, don't turn from the poor. But poor meaning who? Us. That, like, again, y'all all heard this before. We ain't got nobody but us. That's in the Bible. If you don't believe nothing I'm saying, it's like I know I keep repeating myself. Look at today's society. When we as a nation don't look out for each other, other nations take advantage of us.
That's right.
Right? I'm pretty sure everybody heard about Motown, right? All these record labels that you hear today, they're run by Jewish people. Amalek, right? Now, what's the type of music that he wants our people to push out? Drugs, violence, sex. You literally today, you can be a brother rapping about killing other brothers, but you better not say anything about the LGBTQ community. You better not say anything about the Jewish community, or you'll be labeled anti-Semitic. You better not say anything about the Asian community, because then it's going to be Stop Asian Hate. You want to know why? Because in other communities, they ain't going to tolerate you bashing them, but we tolerate bashing each other. How that makes sense?
Right.
Sound crazy, right? But that's what they want to push, because they, again, mindset. You 10 years old listening to a song about a black man killing niggas. You think it's acceptable. You think it's fun. It was Priest Northside Bod, he showed me some videos. It was Milwaukee. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this. It's like something called like the Kia Boys. So the Kia Boys, I thought that was like out here. I didn't know it was a big thing in Milwaukee. Apparently, it's like young brothers, they'll go out and like they know how to break into like Kias, like the car, and they'll break into the car. And now stealing is wrong, obviously, right? I'm thinking, oh, they probably trying to steal it, sell it for parts, something, right? No, you want to know what they do? They take the car and they just drive erratic and crash it. I kid you, if you don't look it up, it's on YouTube. It's some Edomite. He does like not a documentary, but you know that they be doing like interviews. He was like asking them like, so like, what do y'all do? And like, I'm talking about these dudes anywhere from like 13, 15, 16 years old, young kids, man. And they're literally explaining like, yeah, we steal them and then we crash them. So he's asking them like, have any of y'all ever like died doing this? Just casual. Yeah, we lost a couple people. And I'm just like, that's cool. Like, now it sounds ridiculous to us, right? But that's what they're being taught. Why do they think that that's acceptable? You think it's cool to steal, not only steal cars, but to kill yourself? He's saying, oh yeah, 70% of us, we're usually strapped. I'm like, what you got a gun for? How are you getting the gun? You 15. You killing yourself. Right. But they're learning that there's other factors, of course, but music is influential though. We're all grown here, so we know like, I ain't doing that. Like, they're young. They think that stuff is acceptable. They think that that's okay. So you got to understand, again, when we let other nations dictate what we can do, it always destroys us. But when we own our own stuff, everything's fine. I talk about Motown because, like, I think everybody knows about Motown, right? So it was a black record label, right? And that was for us. Like, you know, we, like, at that time, especially, a lot of like the white artists and stuff like that, they had their record labels, but it's like we had our own. We had our own. But then, of course, you know, white man got to have a hand in everything, you know, got to destroy everything. Look what happened. But when we have our own, it might not be as flashy necessarily, but it's our own. We have control of what we have going on. Talking about, what's another one? I can think of? I'm not, go ahead.
If I could, I think Def Jam started off like that too.
You're right. Yeah, Def Jam. I can't think of another one, but I know Def Jam was like that. And I'm thinking, it's a movie. So like, I'm not from California, so I'm trying to think. So the NWA movie. Oh, Straight Outta Compton, right? Based on a true story. But one thing that got me was when my Ice Cube made like No Vaseline, and he's talking about like, you let a Jew fuck up our crew, and I'm like, it didn't hit me at the time, but I'm watching the movie. I rewatched it. It was a good movie, but I rewatched it. And I'm like, wait, no, like the white man really like came in, and it's like they had their own stuff, and then like he came in and was like, it's okay, I'll take care of you guys. And he started like getting easy, like kind of like to the side. He broke him away, and it caused like a rift between everybody. And for a while, like everybody was beefing. But it's like, nah, y'all was all brothers. Like y'all all got out the ghetto together. Like y'all grinded together. But you see what happens when you let him in, and he isolated him. And man, look, I'm just using these as examples. We need to take control of us.
That's right.
Right? We can't depend on other nations to feed the poor man, meaning us. Because look what they do. Y'all seen Skid Row? Go walk in Hollywood. Go walk in Hollywood Boulevard. For anybody who's never been in California. I used to think, yeah, Hollywood Boulevard. Oh my gosh, like, you know, I was younger. I didn't know any better until I got out here. You know, they make it seem like California is like, ooh, movie stars, blah, blah, and you learn real quick. It ain't no different from anywhere else. I went to Hollywood. I remember the first time I got here. This is back in like 2019. Sorry, like 7 years ago. I'm still hitting off for real. I still kind of am. I got here. This is when I was still in. I like drove from my last duty station. I came in, and I'm like, oh, this is Los Angeles. I'm like, man, I went over there. I'm like, this looked like Hartford, Connecticut. You know what I'm talking about. I'm like, okay, this is it. I went to Hollywood. I'm like, it stink. There's a dude defecating in the corner right now. I'm like, what is? I'm like, yo, all right, this is not what I thought it was. But I'm like, it's everywhere. There ain't no. It's the same everywhere. And I just couldn't help but think, like, why is it like this? I'm like, oh, it's the white man. Of course.
That's right.
It's always the white man. You always got to mess with that. So we can't depend on him. We got to depend on ourselves.
That's right.
But to depend on ourselves, we got to make ourselves dependable. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to. If we don't change, nothing will. So, like, if anybody has any questions before you continue, anybody got anything? So, all right, you can continue up.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 9. It's like verse 9.
Mhm.
Beware that there be not, it's like it. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of release is at hand, and thy eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee. Verse 10, thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thy hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of thy land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land. Verse 12. And if thy brother a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years, then in the seventh year thou shalt let him go free from thee. Verse 13.
Okay, so real quick. So going back to verse 12, right? It says, and if thy brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, serve thee 6 years, then in the seventh year thou shalt let him go free for thee. So now, does that mean, again, context, right? Sold unto you. This sounds like, for anybody who might not understand, this might sound like slavery, right? So I was like, wait a minute, we was owning each other as slaves? No. It's not what that's talking about. What this is talking about is a brother, or I guess like in a sense like a servant, right? Brother or sister has been given onto you. They work for you for 6 years, right? Now that does not mean you put them through freaking chattel slavery or any of that or whatever was going on, right? Think of it as like they don't have a place to stay. It's kind of like, you're earning your keep or whatever, right? But there's a time limit. You won't get to just like the point is to build that brother or build that sister up. So on the seventh year, thou shalt let them go free from thee, meaning, are you good now? Like, go live your life. And to prove that, read the next verse, verse 13.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 13. And will thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty.
Meaning, once it's their time, you don't let them just go away with nothing. Keep going.
Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him.
Meaning what? You gonna give that brother or that sister everything they need to be successful in life. Like, hey, like, you work for me. Like, it's really like a worker. Like, hey, you work for me for all this time. You know what? I'm about to give you all these cattle. I'm gonna give you this amount of whatever the currency was at that time. Here's some chickens. Like you need a ride over here. Like, you take care of them. You take care of your own. Go ahead.
Service package.
Pretty much, yes. That's pretty much what it is. The wife. So you take care of them. This isn't, again, Christians might read this and be like, wait a minute. We were enslaving each other. This is not slavery. This is not what was going on in Egypt. This is not that. This is a brother or sister who had nothing. And they've been given onto you. You take care of them. Like, they work there, but you take care of them. And then on the seventh year, you let them go, but you don't just let them go. Don't think like, okay, perfect example. It's like, okay, the foster care system. I forgot the exact number. If anybody want to let me know, y'all could. After a certain amount of time, I want to say it's after they're 18. If they're not assigned to a family, like they weren't adopted, right? They just let them go. that they in the street. Like a lot of homeless people you see today are people that grew up out of the foster care system.
Right.
They were never adopted. And then it's like, oh, well, sorry, you didn't get adopted. Here you go. And they just throw y'all out there for nothing. Now you're in a shelter. You've grown up. You've probably known like 5 different families at this point. Nobody adopted you. God knows what else you've been through. And now you're on the street. That is not this. The foster care system, sadly, doesn't care about you the way they should care about you, because they'll set you up for failure. You're no longer important to them. So now they just put you out there, and whatever happens to you, happens to you. That's why you see things like Skid Row, or you go to LA or you Hollywood, and you see how things are. Out here, I'm pretty sure I'll open the door and like there's homeless people all down the street. Like, it's ridiculous. And I can't help but wonder, I'm like, well, how did you end up here? And sometimes it's the foster care system. This is not that. The Lord said, when it's time for them to go, you make sure they're taken care of. Don't just send them out there, because if you just send them out there, then what? They're going to end up right back where they were, or worse. Again, taking care of your people. Does that make sense? Okay, we can continue.
Like it, sir.
Go
It's
ahead.
called from the foster care. They when the youth turns 18, they are officially aged out or emancipated from the traditional foster care.
That's what it's emancipated.
Legally recognized as adults, the state's custody ends, meaning they are responsible for their own housing, bills, and decisions. Many regions often extend support options up to the age of 21, but then they have certain circumstances why you have to do that. But 18, they are aged out.
Now, let me ask y'all something. When we were all 18 years old, everybody was 18 at one point. Do we have it figured out? Now, imagine you had nobody in your corner. Like nobody, no friends, no family, no nothing. That's a lot of people in the foster care. That's the water. I was trying to remember like what the name of it was, but yeah. Now you're 18 years old. You have no structure, and they're like, "Here you go, 18 years old, into the world." Like, you might as well throw them in the fire. Go ahead. Drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs. Think about it. Like they've been. Y'all heard the stories of the foster care system. Like a lot of them kids be getting touched. It's locked in. They be getting abused. They send them off. I got you in a second. They go to all these different types of families, and let's say you might have gotten attached to a family, but then for whatever reason they don't want you. Like I couldn't imagine like what that does to a kid. And then like you're given to another family, like you're constantly being like thrown away, like constantly. And then you're 18, and then they just say, "Hey, we're no longer responsible for you. Here you go. Figure it out." You know what that does to a kid? It destroys them.
Right.
Drugs. They can't deal with all the stuff like mentally. So it's like whatever money they do get, they don't want to feel nothing. They want to feel numb. So they might shoot up or pop pills or whatever, or smoke, whatever, just so they don't feel nothing. They just destroyed. Them little girls grow up drugs, selling their body, doing whatever to get more drugs, just destroyed. They just messed up, man. Lord don't want that. So like I seen you had your hand up.
Sir, if I could, hearing this is a heavy subject for me because that's the field I'm in. And a lot of times I see a lot of kids or juveniles, they're being used for their resources, whether it's they can pay for, once you turn 18, you lose all of that unless you're conserved. Conservatorship means an adult who's responsible would help you get your needs met, like step in the gap for you, help you do your paperwork, all of that.
Yeah.
There are some good people, but our kids are out here misdiagnosed, and they become hooked on certain things. And I won't say the system failed them, but you don't have good people in the system to help them.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
And a lot of that is once their resources are used up, they just let them go. And I don't like that part of it. Because I see a lot of students of mine who are homeless. I see them and it's like, man, very promising students, but some of their parents have passed away and someone took advantage of them. It's a broken system.
Right. Well, I just want to say the water for sharing that. I didn't know that you were in that field of work. So the water for giving like us like insight on like what goes on in there. Yeah, like that's crazy, man. That really is crazy. Because like the system is supposed to like set them up for success, but like you said, like there's not good people in the system. So there's like not saying that there's no good people, but there are some people who are willing to take advantage of them. Because correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it like some things like where if they adopt, I'm not too privy on it, but it's like if they adopt kids, it's like they get like a check or something.
It's all money driven.
Yeah.
And again, if I could,
Go ahead.
some people adopt because they have a heart
Right.
for the kids and care. You have those that are counting their heads. Oh, I get 5 for this one because it's about to diagnose. The diagnose determines how much money you get.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Concert. Some, autistic, high function. There's different levels to it, but it's money based, right? But there are some great people that are running. They care, but the ones who don't care outweigh the ones who care. So it looks like the whole system is damaged, but it's not.
Yeah.
But you have those, unsuccessful stories.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying, sir?
No, for water. Okay. Damn, I didn't know that's how it worked. But I get what you're saying though. It's like, yeah, again, like there's good people in there, but like you said it perfectly. There are the ones that outweigh the good ones, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I get you. So again, like kind of going back to this, like the Lord doesn't want that for anybody. So he, I guess you in a sense created a system to where once it's time for said person to go, right? You don't just leave them with nothing. Like you make sure that they are taken care of so that they can take care of themselves once it's time to go. They serve the set. Think of it kind of like, okay, let's bring it back to Genesis. Think of it as kind of like with Jacob, right? Remember he served Laban, Tawada. He served Laban for, well, it was supposed to be 7 years, but we all know how that went. But that 7 turned to 14 real quick. But it was, the idea was like that was Jacob. Like he wasn't a slave, but he was, I guess, in a sense, like don't think servant as a slave in this context. He was serving Laban at that time, but it wasn't for naught. He was promised, like, hey, well, it was supposed to be Rachel, but we know the story. But he was supposed to be promised a wife, right? Hey, you served me 7 years, I'll give you this, right? You get a rib, boom, now you got kids. And it wasn't like he gave him other things too. That's what it was supposed to be. And then, of course, turned 14, he got Leia, and that was the whole thing. But think of that when you think of this. Don't think like, oh, you enslaving a brother. Like, nah, like brother work for you, or sister work for you, but it's like I'm gonna make sure like you taking care of them. That's what that is, if that makes sense. It's like is that it on that? Okay, so we'll continue.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 15. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee, and thine house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, in serving thee 6 years, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all that thou doest. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 19. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock, thou shalt sanctify unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep.
If I could real quick, just stop right there real quick. I just want to explain a little, couple verses beforehand. So we already talked about the seventh year, right? Like you're supposed to free, make sure that they're set up. Don't send them away empty-handed, of course. And it's also to signify like kind of like, like remember where you came from kind of thing. But it also says, pretty much like if the servant or the person that served you throughout all these years, right? If they choose, not you, if they choose, say, hey, you know what, you've been so good and kind to me, like, I want to stay here. It's like, okay, so you would pierce their ear with an awl, and they become like pretty much they're a part of like you forever, right? So this kind of, how do I say this? Piercings kind of had like a, how do I say, like a meaning back then. Like, so Christians think, some of them think like, oh, like if you get like ear piercings or like a nose piercing or something, like, oh, that's a sin. You're not supposed to pierce your body. It's like, no, that's actually always been in our custom. Like, especially like the ear piercing, that was like to signify like you might serve this family or whatever. Like, but again, don't think slave. Don't think that. That's not what this is. This person, again, they choose to say, hey, I'm going to stay with this family because they treated me so well. But they got to make that decision, though. You don't make that decision. You free them and you set them up for success and give them what they need, right? Oh, yeah, slide. Good. Okay. All right, go on. Slide it. But just so everybody understands that piercings have always been like a custom for us. That's just what it was at that time. If you could, where were you, verse 20, or did you already go past that?
No, I'm at verse 20.
20, okay. Yeah, you can go to verse 20.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 20. Thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God year by year in the place which the Lord shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if be lame or blind or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it unto the ground as water.
All right, that's it on that. All right, for the sake of time, because we went over some technical difficulties in the beginning, but before we wrap up the class, I guess the biggest thing we can take from this class is it just goes to show what is possible if we all work together. Again, we went. Anybody who might have missed it, we went in heavy on the $2.1 trillion worth of spending power. Just one tribe alone. We're talking about just Judites in America. And if everybody was on the same accord and we all just gave just a tenth of our earnings, of that money, right? Everybody would have $4,200 approximately. Now, let's say we did this every month. 4,200 times 12, that's 50,400. That's 50K a year. Just chilling. Everybody's getting taken care of. That's not even coming from, again, other incomes that you have. That's just residual income. Like you open your bank account, it's like, oh, okay. That's it. And you would know, like, it came from your people, kind of going by what you brought up earlier. Nobody can be jealous. Nobody can feel like, oh, you got more than me. There's no reason to do obscene things for money because everybody would be fine. Everybody. Again, when we say pay your tithes, that's not like, hey, just give the money to the school. No. Because the school's money is your money, if that makes sense. Everything that we got going on comes from the school. There's been times like, let's say certain people might not be able to make it to Passover, and like you'll be surprised, like brothers will be able to scrape up some money just to help you get out there. That's money that's circulating. When we go to camp, we buy all our stuff. Everybody pitch in just a little bit. That way, not everybody feels financially burdened. because we understand. That's why we in California. It's expensive as hell out here.
That's right.
Like we know we all got ribs, kids, slaves. Like we all got our own responsibilities outside of this, and we're mindful of that. So again, a system. Everybody, it's like the same mindset. Everybody just pitch in. Tithes is like pitching in. You just pitching just a little bit. Like think about it. Like we all done it before. Like you go to a party or something. We was all young before. Go to a party. Say, hey, we all gonna put in for I don't know pizza or something. And, you know, just put in $5. Like that is, but it's that same mindset. Now take that for the pizza and just apply that for everybody. And then everybody eats, because that's the whole mindset of when you're pitching for that pizza, right?
Oh.
Everybody putting $5 real quick, $2, whatever you got. Even if you got $1, fine. That's one more dollar than what you didn't have. And now everybody eats. Go ahead.
Back in the day, everybody had 5 on it.
There you go. That's it. Like, look, I got nothing. Just boom. There you go. Come on, man. But that's the mindset, though, because the mindset is if we all do it, everybody gets to eat. Everybody. So just, you know, if you don't take none, again, in this class, pay tithes. Pay tithes. See what happens when we actually look out for each other. Look out for the poor man and the poor woman. And look at, like, again, you can read through it again, like through just chapter 15 alone. We're talking about debts too. You know, in that 7th year, like that brother or that sister is released from that debt. But why? So that nobody's in debt. Everybody is free. Like really free. Like really, really free. Because I mean, think about it. We've all had student loans, car loans, home loans. All that is, in a sense, like you owe somebody something. You're paying that money, a mortgage, rent. Like everybody got to do it at some point. So it's like there's money being taken and taken and taken and taken. You can't help. I know I still do. You be thinking like, man, it'd be nice if I didn't have to spend all this money. I could probably put it to something more meaningful. You know, spend more time with the family. Maybe you want to go on a trip somewhere. I don't know. You and your rib ain't been on a date in 2 months. But, you know, baby, we want to go out. You know, just something simple as that. So just take that, right? Anybody got anything before we finish the class? Everybody to wild. First of all, I just want to say a lot to y'all for coming through. Definitely, I value all the input that y'all put in. I value pretty much everything, right? I appreciate everybody for participating. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. For time's sake, we'll just close the class, but we will do one courtesy salute before we have the class, though. All right, so men of Israel, Amijin. All right, before we end, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. So, men of Israel, Amijin Shabbat, Amijin, Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. Yahshua Class is dismissed.
Right? That's right. That's right. Right? Good. And you?